G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I have something a little bit bigger and more interesting and more funkier. I'll just show you the size. Hopefully you can see my head in that size. It's a decent sized tree. It's a spruce, very old spruce, 30 plus years grown from seed. I didn't grow it from seed, but I know the person who did. But yeah, it's very old. It was actually, I acquired this quite a while ago, but it was actually very tall and had branches everywhere, and I tried to compact it and bring it down to some sort of reasonable sized tree. Now, it's been causing me some dilemma, this tree. It's making me, it causes, the reason I'm showing this tree is I want to show you what can happen when you're undecided about what to do with a tree, or you're trying to think too much about a tree. So what's happened in this case is this tree's been such an old tree, and all the branches have been grown very long and healthy, and on a spruce it's hard to get. I find on spruces it's hard to get such extensive growth, or lots of growth and lots of branching. It takes a long time. So I didn't want to kind of waste those 30 plus years of this tree grown as from seed, and that's why I tried to keep every branch, tried to keep all the branches, tried to keep whatever I could. The problem was there was no branches low down, so I've had to pull branches from up high and bring them down and to make them into some sort of tree. Now I tried to save every branch, and that's probably where the problem is in this tree. I pretty much did. I think I didn't cut off pretty much any of the main branches and left them all. So I tried to create a nice big tree in here. Tried to create an apex, had some back branches, and then created another side branch out there. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it's trying to, if you look at the trunk line is quite contorted. Like, it's got big bends in it, big twists, big up here, twists around. This branch, for example, goes all the way over here and then comes back all the way over here. It's really twisted up. Even up the top, it's really quite twisted and intriguing. And then I've gone and styled the tree in a kind of formal or informal upright style. Now, I don't know. I just think I've done the wrong thing by the tree. And this is where, an amateur versus professional, totally different. So it's a very amateur mistake, I think, in a way. I was too, I was too cautious, and I didn't want to waste all that years of growth of the tree. So I was kind of being very overprotective, I guess. So it's come to a point where I've looked at the tree and it's just frustrating. It's not the best tree it can be, because I made the call of, let's wire the whole thing up and let's bend everything and push it into place and put this into place and put this into place. And but what I can see is it doesn't do much for the tree. Like, it doesn't highlight the best features of the tree, which is the nice, very gnarly, nice old trunk, bending, twisted, nice twisted up, bends, and so on. And then it's got this formal look, or informal upright look. It just doesn't make sense to me. I want to try and make it very intriguing. And now I've been racking my brain yesterday trying to look at this tree, and I've come out this morning thinking I'm going to try and do something different. And it's just so obvious to me what I need to do, but I'm trying to give you guys a look before I come up with anything, and before I make the decision. I mean, I do really like this area in the top here, but again, it's a tricky one. I've tried to bend lots of branches up here. They're all up here, and I've bent them all the way down. Like, this branch here is actually branches growing right up there. So, it can be interesting. I'm going to come back here and stand and look with you guys. To me, it's not. I mean, you could get away with it. You could, but it just forever it would always be branches right at the top, being bent down to form that, and it doesn't. See, I don't know if you can see. It's actually quite a nice style. Like, you see the nice big cascade here down into that. Now, if the trunk was this thick and that size, I think I can live with that. But it's much thinner, and I want to give it a bit more delicate look. So it's going to be interesting. I'm just contemplating all the ideas I can come up with. So a couple of the ideas. So let's try and bend this guy further down and get him into there. But again, it's still going to keep the same informal upright look. I'm thinking I can eliminate this whole big branch, this whole thing here, and maybe you just use this and put it into that spot, and it'll probably lessen the thickness of that area. But yeah, there's some ideas there. The apex is cool, it's interesting, but I don't know if it's the best tree. Yeah, so yeah, it's a real tricky one. It doesn't. I want to emphasize all the bends and curves and interest, and try to explain what happened to this tree. What's so interesting with this tree? Why did it have the big bend? So it's got a big. It goes up like that, and it's got a big bend this way. Then it's actually gone back this way for some reason, and then going up into here. That's another reason. And then the branches over here, branches over there. It doesn't kind of explain. But then I'll bring in the camera in a minute. There's a branch that's gone back there, and it comes back, it's contorted and down, and creates this whole tree here. Now that kind of explains to me what happened to this tree. So it's tried to grow, it's got knocked back, there's some gin here as well, and it's tried to grow again, and then it's got bent around and come over to here. I don't know, it looks more funky and interesting. Now maybe you can see what I'm thinking now to be the tree that I'm trying to get to. But what I'll do is I will try and show you the process of how I'll go about it. So I'm going to cover certain areas and we'll see what it looks like. So give me a minute. Now I've covered that branch I was telling you about. If I just took that off, it's not a bad tree now. It's much more interesting. So I think that's pretty cool. Like that actually gives me a better story. I know you can't see the trunk, but if I've covered that branch, you can kind of imagine, you know, this is smaller here and the whole tree is going this way, more cascading look. But then again, a cascade or a semi-cascade needs to kind of start further down. This is kind of more of a waterfall approach or waterfall tree. That my only dilemma with this look is the tree's going this way in a semi-cascade, but the trunk is too straight and tall. It needs to be shorter, I think, if you're going to go semi-cascade style. And if you're going to have the tree this size, probably the cascade's going to be huge out here to balance it. What do you guys think? It's an interesting tree. Interesting, much better. I think that's, regardless, I think that's an improvement. That gone, taken that out. Yeah, let me try some other things. Alright, so that's not too bad as well. I mean, I've eliminated that whole right side. I might have to bring some branches just to fill in this area in here. But I think it needs that branch there. So I think that's a no-go for sure, to eliminate all those if I was going to do that, if I was going to go this style. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, I don't think that works. So it needs something on this side here, just a little bit, if I'm going to keep this style. Let's try something else. And here's the next one. Now, this is the bit that I saw yesterday, and I really got a good connection. I felt this connection with the tree then. What if I eliminated all that area at the top and had this cascading kind of little radi look that's coming down, cascading down? It actually tells a better story. Now, I know the trunk is a bit blocked, but I'll try and remove that. So I'll show you close up in a minute, but this branch comes, so the trunk goes up like this. There's a branch that goes back here, and then it all comes down, comes around and forms this whole area. So it goes back and then comes around. I'll show you that. Whereas this whole area at the top comes off this main branch up here that all grows. You can see all the branches are from the top of that tree. Now, what is the best possible tree? What tells the best story? What gives you a connection to the tree? This looks so much more interesting. That's just my opinion, but that's what I see now on this tree. But it's taken me a long time. It's taken me to fully wire the tree, fully place everything in place, bend branches, trying to use the best I can to bring it around. But only time has created this tree or this look, and I'm really liking this look. So I'm thinking that's going to be the plan today, guys. So it's much more interesting. It's a super interesting tree. now, and I'll show you a close-up of the trunk and why my reasonings are for this. But what we'll do is we'll eliminate things slowly, and maybe we'll find a better tree. You never know. It could possibly work that there's a better tree there, but this is my initial thoughts. And let's get in some close-ups and I'll show you the trunk now. Alright, so I'm in close here and you can see the nice old trunk that it is. So we'll have a look up. So I'll take you through it. So we go up and then there's a big bend. There's some gins there. There's nothing on the tree there. Nothing. No branching, but this branch at the back. See how it goes back? Oops, and there's a, let me get my hand out of the way. There's a dead bit that goes all the way out there. But this trunk goes all the way back there, and then it bends right around. Oh, so blurry. Right around and comes out and makes this tree down here. Or you go up. I put a wedge in there to try and, because that was really close down, low down. I tried to put a wedge in there to get it more upright. But you can see there's still no branching, and it's all up the top here. And this is the problem. They're all in this area. And I tried to manipulate it, bend it down, twist it down. There's actually too many branches in there, so I really need to eliminate some anyway. So we'll do that today. We'll eliminate some of these and then see if there's a good tree. Otherwise, it's going to be this cascade literati simca. It looks so cool. And I can explain it and I can talk to it and I can... Well, the other thing I forgot to say is I'll probably have lots of big gin work as well. This will be a nice gin somewhere, something in here. Might keep that. Might not keep the long ones because it looks a bit tacky or it doesn't look real, but a nice gin here, shortened, looks kind of interesting. We don't want too many straight bits in the gin as well. We want something interesting, so probably be short here, I think. Maybe up here and up here, just a nice short one. If you do too long, it gets a bit, doesn't really tell the story. So that's what we're planning on doing. So let's approach this step by step and we'll see what we can do. First things first is I want to eliminate that big heavy one. I think it just doesn't suit the tree, and look where it starts. That's it there. So that's my big issue. I've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches just in this spot. It's just not. It's all from here. The whole top of the tree has been designed from just this section, and that's probably where the hard bit is. Probably want to keep 2. Maybe let's see if we can keep this one and this one only, and eliminate the rest. I'll probably keep the one below there because it's off this one. But yeah, that gives a nice depth one. This is too big. Keep this one, might be depth. Let's try that. Let's try and eliminate slowly and see what happens. Alright, let's start working away. So I just got to make sure I cut away any wire. So I'm going to get rid of this guy first. Let's have a look. I think this is the wire. Lucky I used aluminium. I used aluminium in this case because I don't want to put big bends in it. It's easier to do that with. Let's get rid of this guy and see what happens. Alright. Wasn't lying. So there you go. That's that big low branch that I've just taken off. Now, is there a better tree? It is much better, actually. Really not much better. But now you can actually see this bit. And it's very straight here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? It's really straight and there's no taper. And I think that is probably my big convincer that even if I bent this down, let's have a look. Bend that down into here. I could put one in more wire, but I could put that down. And could cover it, but it's never going to be the best tree. I still think this is the best tree in here, but that's just my opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions, but to me that is looking still like the best tree. It's mainly because of this. I think now this is the big problem. Can you see how straight that is? That is really bothering me. So, yeah, I think it's got to go. Yeah, I can't see. I'm trying to convince myself not to cut it all off yet, but to me, it's a real problem. You see the nice movement, and then it's just straight. Very straight. Very unattractive at all. Whilst this apex looks nice, this looks nice. I can't do it. Oh, I'm just going to get rid of this back branch back here. I'll do that in a minute. I want to just try and remove that, but I need to take just to see if there's anything better. It's very hard to think. I'm just going to eliminate that back branch. Let's see if that did anything. It's nicer. So you can see it's much nicer. Much less foliage, much less everything, but it doesn't fix that problem. I'm just looking in the back of the camera to see if I can see anything else, but it just is hugely contrasting. It really doesn't. That I'm just convincing myself. That's really it, guys. I'm just convincing myself that, yeah, that's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, if that was shorter, maybe, if this bit was shorter and had more interest, I think we could have used it, but yeah, unfortunate. I don't want to really airlay anything here. I don't really. I'm not going to have too many spruces in my collection, so this is probably it. But yeah. What do you guys think? I mean, I'd like to hear some other thoughts, but I hope you guys can see why I've decided what I've decided. It's just not appealing. It's not the best tree there. So. Hey guys, I'm going to do this live and I'm going to cut off that trunk and hopefully I'll have the right angle so you can see the remaining tree. Right, here we go. Oh. Let's have a look now. Oh, I don't know, I'm in love. Oh, I really like that. I think that's probably doesn't look the best in the camera, but it looks much more interesting, much more appealing. It probably has to be turned a little bit towards there, maybe. Probably a slight change of angle. Let's see if that looks any better. Yeah, that looks better. Oh, that looks really nice. There you go. I'm not going to do too much more work to that actually. I'll probably gin those bits. Take off that little wedge, but the whole tree's wide. I'm not really wanting to touch it. I just wanted to see if it will grow and recover now. I'm not going to really rewire anything. I'm just going to leave it because I want to let it fill out some growth now. And then hopefully with more growth, we could do a restyle. So what do you guys think? That was a huge change, massive change, but I think it's a much better tree. I really do. Something really unique now, something really interesting. It actually tells the right story now. Yeah, probably have lots of people disagree, but that's always people's opinion. And it's great to have different opinions and great different insights and different views on trees. That's the best thing about this, is every person has a different view, a different artistic idea. So that's what I love about this hobby we have. Well, more than a hobby to some, especially me, but I love it, and it's always coming up with different ideas and different views. It's so much more interesting tree now for me. Really has a connection now for me. It's like, oh yeah, I can see that story. I can see why that's much more cooler. Wow, there you go. How's that, guys? Happy saw what I can do, but hope you saw that. Anyway, I'm sure I'll get lots of nice comments hopefully, and some probably, oh, what have you done? No, that's not good, don't do that. Oh my god, I can't even believe you did that. But I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm trying to do. So let me come back and I'll just do some gin work and I'll clean up the gins and I'll show you that as well. I'm just going to work on jigging this. It's probably a bit too big for this. I'll probably have to get a cover or a carver. It's a bit small for my little gym tool, gym pliers, so I might have to get another bigger tool. I don't want to do it such a smooth job on it. So it's when it's fresh, it's easy to peel off. So I'm just peeling this off with my branch cutters. I just can score it and just peel it off. Now I don't want to go all the way. I want to kind of leave a little bit here. I don't want to go all the way down to that. I just want to try and get it naturally to die back. It looks a bit more cooler and interesting rather than having a ring back right down here and it just dies right back. And looks a bit boring. So. So I'd love to hear comments about this. I'm sure there's going to be different comments from everyone, but that's the beauty of this all. Because everyone has different viewpoints and opinions and styles and views, and it's awesome. I love it. I love hearing all your comments. But I hope you can see what I was trying to do, and that's more what I'm interested in. I always try to explain why I do something, and there's always different opinions, as I said, and this is just an amateur opinion. So I'm sure the professionals would have done something totally different, which would be awesome too, and I love those professionals, and that's what I learned from. Just trying to see how it's so straight. It just shows so straight, and actually it was a bit longer too. So I'm tempted that's going to come right back, probably. I'm not gonna do too much work now. I'm just gonna kind of. I didn't like the straight cut, so a bit more interest, something like that for now. But I'm sure that's going to be shorter. You can see we slowly work through that, work on it, and get it into a much more interesting shape. There's just this bit at the back here. I'll do that one as well. So I'm not just trying to not stand in your way, so you can see. there's a couple of gins done. What do you guys think? That's pretty much it though. So yes, I have totally changed the tree. I hope you guys understand why I've totally changed the tree. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this now to recover and just grow on. That's pretty much it. Just let it recover now, put out heaps of foliage, heaps of new growth in spring, and look at restyling it sometime. Not restyling, but adjusting it and refining it. But I hope you see the process I went through. This video is pretty quick, and you see me do the work pretty quickly. But to come to those decisions has been, a couple of years worth, or once I styled it first time, I was unsure, didn't like the look of it totally. So it's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Just leave it, let it grow. It grew, and then I'm going, there's just too many negatives in this tree, and the reason is I was kind of biased towards it. I didn't want to get rid of all that old growth, those years of growth. So you've got to get over that fact that there's all these years of growth that you've grown this tree on, and then you're going to cut it all off. It's like, oh, but I grew that for so long. So you got to get through that stage, I guess. Get over that stage, but it's never going to happen overnight unless you're a professional who just knows the best tree possible. Like, I'm sure a professional would come up with the best tree possible in an instant. But as us hobbyists and just amateurs, we just love doing what we do. And I do love to style and do love to be creative, and that's where I think the most interesting part of bonsai is the creative side. Everyone has a different creative element, everyone has a different creative aspect to it. This is just my style, my opinion. With this tree, I now can explain what happened to the tree. It tells a story. Before, it didn't tell a story, it looked too contrived. Now it tells a story of what's happened. It got killed on that side, it's been battered by the winds, and this is just hanging off a cliff top, something like that. It'll definitely need a new pot, something more, I don't know, it could be anything, more squat, probably have to come in more, and more it's taller, I'd say, because it's going to be cascading down. Yeah, so it tells such a better story, and the trunk's nice and twisted. This branching is nice and twisted. Just want to let it all recover now, let it feel out, get it healthy, and hopefully have an awesome tree in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. So another nice styling video. This is I don't do as many styling videos as I do, but bonsai isn't all about always styling trees. It's also about how to maintain and care and how to grow trees and grow stock, and there's a whole bunch of things that I video. So this is just the styling one that I can get around to, which is probably the most fun. Definitely the most fun, creating trees and being creative. So I've talked heaps on this video. I'm sorry I talked so much, but I hope I was able to explain the process and what I've done. Yeah, I'm really happy with this result actually, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe to the channel, as I always ask you guys to do, and click the little bell icon so you can get notifications of new videos. So see you next time. Thanks, guys.